So how long do you take to close? What if I told you 10 business days? Let me show you how. All right, hello everyone. This is Jeremy Levitt with the Happy Home Buyer number 14, here to talk to you about how long it takes to close a home loan. Now I said 10 business days, and let me qualify that. That is a best case scenario, and I'm going to show you right now why that's not something we sell. We do not sell the 10 business day closing. Some other lenders rely on that, but we've got other important things to offer to you, like awesome rates and low fees. But that doesn't change the fact that on a perfect file with absolutely no problems, you could potentially close in 10 business days. The problem with that is there's other factors that are outside of our control. But let me show you the standard pieces that we're looking for and how that happens in 10 days, the third parties we deal with, and then of course where you, the buyer, are factored in. Let's get started. So here we've got it, your perfect best case scenario. It starts with me, the loan originator. I do the file update, takes about a day. I move it on to setup, they take about a day ordering tax transcripts and all sorts of other fun pieces. Then it goes into processing, which we allow for about 3 days. The processor's gathering documents from you, the buyer. They're getting things from setup. They're putting the file together for the underwriter to make sure it's absolutely perfect. Then it's going to spend about 2 days in underwriting. It'll take another full day or so for the final loan approval, a day to issue closing docs, and then it usually takes about a day for signing and funding. That is your perfect closing. That's your best case scenario. That's 10 business days. Here's the other pieces we're working with. Thanks to TRID, we've got the loan disclosures. We've got the initial loan estimate, which happens in the first 3 days, and then we've got the CD and its waiting period, which happens in 3 days, right around the loan approval stage. Those usually don't slow us down, as you see, because there's some kind of blank space in the middle that we can use as a buffer. Over here, though, we've got the third parties. The biggest pieces are going to be the appraisal and then you, the buyer, doing your signing. The appraisal is usually ordered towards the end of the initial disclosure stage, once we've got the borrower's intent to proceed, and usually once you've finished your home inspection piece. Appraisal will usually take about 5 to 7 business days. You see that comes in right in time to get the final loan approval. And then you're signing. Sometimes the borrower can sign right away, sometimes it takes a few days for them to sign. So we've got that allocated in here as well. All of this factors perfectly into a 10 business day closing, but it assumes that we wait for nothing. It assumes that there's no hiccups, there's no surprises with the property, there are no issues. The good news about that is that on a 30-day closing, you've got 22 business days to work with. That gives us 12 business days of wiggle room to adjust on the loan side to account for any surprises. It also means that in total, you as a buyer have 20 extra days just to gather your documentation. I don't suggest you take those full 20 days. In fact, it's best to just get those pieces right up front. Just remember, if you're being sold a 10-day closing by some other lender, this is what they're looking at. They're looking at the best case scenario. In a best case scenario, many lenders could close in 10 days, but we're not trying to sell that because things happen. There are delays. It takes a while for you to get documentation. Sometimes we have to wait a couple days to order the appraisal. Every now and then we have to wait on the IRS. There's always something that comes up. So let's set the expectations up reasonable to begin with. Giving yourself 30 days to close is a much more reasonable time frame. On the other hand, if you're talking to a lender that requires 45 to 60 days to close, what exactly are they doing with all that extra time? Can you imagine 24 extra business days worth of wiggle room, 40 days for the borrower to gather their documentation? I just don't think that's necessary. So that's it. That's how many days it takes for you to close. You see where your part comes in here. The best thing you can do is get all of your documentation in before you even write an offer. Then all you have to do is provide like updated bank statements and pay stubs when it comes time for final approval. Simple as that. Either way, hope you're enjoying this information. If you need absolutely anything, just give me a call at 480-744-6040. We'll talk to you soon.